Hey, what's up guys, this is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Storm Collectibles COBRA, the Space Pirate figure. This is a viewer request, so hopefully this satisfies those who asked for it. I wasn't going to get it, but I figured what the heck, might as well. I think I reviewed the Figma forever ago. I know I used it for a custom, maybe I didn't review it, I don't know. But that was a pretty good figure. If you like COBRA, that was a good one. This one's a lot bigger and a lot newer. Is it any better? I don't know. Let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. It's a good package. It's interesting. It's a little bit different than Storm's usual fare, but still in the same style, so that's alright. There's a photo there. There's some stuff on the back. They have pretty good packaging overall. No real issues there. That's not how you hold a pistol. Is that how he does it in the show? I've never watched it. Alright, there it is. Okay, let's talk about this guy. He is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. If you want to get one, I'll have a link in the description below. He stands roughly 7 and 5/8 to the top of his head, and then all like 7 7/8 to the top of his hair. And that's going to make him about 19 to the top of his head-ish, and then 20 to the top of his hair. Here he is up against Darwin. Very large figure. It is in Storm's larger scale, which is not at all 1/12 scale, so that makes sense. Alright, question of the day. Are you interested in this? Or are you just watching to support the channel? I know a lot of you do that, and I do appreciate you very much. Alright, so let's talk about this guy. Now, here's the thing about COBRA. He's often drawn to be pretty lanky, though fairly muscular. This figure, I think if you look at the top half, it's alright. They did some weird stuff to the chest. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the legs are massive again. And they're not super massive everywhere, though I do think the hips are too wide. The legs are too big. It looks slightly out of scale. But the biggest issue here is that his lower legs are way longer than his upper legs, and is throwing off stuff quite a bit. So I think his overall look is hurt by this. He has the long and relatively bulky lower body. The upper body's pretty narrow, unfortunately, which is fine for him, but the way they did the chest cutting in for the joint here, it makes him look even more narrow. Gives him these little skinny boobs in the middle of his torso rather than having the broader pecs, which you need to have that proper look. So that combined with the wide hips and long legs gives him a pretty weird silhouette, and I don't like it. It's throwing off the look of the figure quite a lot for me. I'm wondering if you guys are seeing that too. I don't care for that. There is shading throughout, which looks nice. It's on the skin tone, it's on the red, that's fine. It's a pretty bland character design, so you need that. I wish the shading was a little bit more consistent from this part to this part. We have a little bit of shading here, a lot of shading here, and then none on the inner part really, so it looks a little off. And then for the face, I don't know. I know he has that sort of nose, but I think they maybe pushed it a little bit too far. His nose looks really big to me, like too big. And so it's throwing it off. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I'm not an expert on the character, but I've seen him around, and it looks a little bit weird, but maybe there's enough that looks like that in the source material that you guys are just fine with it. So let me know. But the paint job on the face is pretty good. The eyes look really good. The hair has shading in it, so that's nice. It's one of those figures where it looks pretty good, but it's also pretty weird at the same time. So I couldn't say for sure. His holster is a separate piece, so there's a belt underneath. It looks kind of crappy. And then you do get a lot of, as you pose him, get that down there. As you pose him, you get a lot of shiny spots. I don't know if they're going to show up on camera. There's one right here. Yeah, you can see that from the plastic rubbing together. So, so far I'm not thrilled with it. Aesthetically, I'm going to give it only a 6 out of 10. It doesn't strike me as being particularly good looking. As far as the accessories go, you get a total of 4 heads. Those all look pretty nice. A decent spread of hands, probably everything you're going to need there. You do get an alternate arm with the blaster thingy arm. I don't know what it's called, like I said. But you get that, and that's done really well. I like that. You get the removed arm, of course, so that's cool. You get a lighter, which looks really nice. You get 3 different sizes of cigars, 3 different levels of smoked cigars. Those go in the mouth for the one, at least the one head. Let me see how many heads do it. I think it's just the one. 2 heads have that, so that's cool. And then you get his revolver, which looks really nice, and you get his jacket, which is soft goods, but it's wired and it looks all right, and it does help make him look a little bit more proportional. Maybe that's what they were going for. They did the same thing with Bison, M. Bison, the other day. He had the cape and then giant lower legs. So maybe they're trying to compensate for the soft goods on the outside of the figure. I don't know. But the jacket does look nice, so I'll give him that. So accessory-wise, I'll go probably 9 out of 10. That's a pretty good spread of accessories. Now, can it pose? That's a question. It should. It's pretty narrow, pretty slender. He should be able to pose. So let's see. This head does work like a normal Storm head. It does stretch the neck properly so that you can actually lean that ball peg inside to make the neck move. That's really cool. That works. The top joint actually has more play on it than they usually do. It's a little bit awkward at how high it is. The joint, that is, not the head. But it works, so the head should be fine. For the butterfly joint, we do have the traditional Storm shoulder where it's just a ball peg that moves around. I thought at first it was the new kind where it only has the hinge because it doesn't want to go up and down very much. But it doesn't have the hinge in the front. It only has the ball peg with the socket inside, and this is just a floating cap. It just happens to be pretty stiff. But you do get decent range out of it, forward and back. Not a ton up and down, but a little bit. It does work, so it just took a little bit of wiggle. You may want to lubricate that. I wouldn't do it too much though, because it's not squeaking or anything. It is just stiff. But yeah, you do get that traditional ball peg that lets the arm move around quite a bit. All right, for the shoulder, we're stuck at just a little bit better than horizontal, like I mentioned. Full rotation. That's really tight, but it's not squeaking, so I'm guessing it's going to be okay. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow. Not the best range, but it's okay. And then the wrists are on little ball hinges. Those are fine. These cuffs are actually sculpted and painted. They are not separate pieces. All right, for the torso, let's see what we have. Oh, he leans back very far, so that's good. That's just on the top joint. He doesn't... Oh, there it goes. Okay, I was going to say he doesn't go. He leans forward pretty far. This is going to be an issue. I mean, not... Just be aware of it, and it won't be an issue, but it could be if you're not. All right, so using the bottom joint and the top joint, he leans pretty far. That's pretty good. And then going back, let's make sure that's not tucked in. Going back, he does go back nicely. That's pretty good. You get a little bit of separation down here, which is understandable. Same thing up here if you really max it, but just don't go to the absolute max and you'll be fine. And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got a 12 pack. I mean, I'm sorry, a 10 pack. I thought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why did I say 12? Losing my mind. But you can see all that scraping that's going on the torso that makes it look shiny. But yeah, he gets good range, so that's nice. And then leaning to the side. Maybe I counted to 5 and thought there was another one. And that's why I said 12, because I know how to add. He leans to the side, okay. And then, of course, you get your waist twist out of both parts of those. All right, for the hips. You have to be careful you don't tuck the diaper piece into the hip, but he gets decent range. It's not making too much noise, so I'm not super worried about it getting too tight yet, but actually that's a pretty nice set of hips going out to the side. That's good. No real nuggets going forward. Oh, we do have a little bit of looseness this way. Going forward, it stretches, but doesn't want to go too far, but you get almost a horizontal there. And then going back, the cheeks really do. They kind of just fold. But you can bring the leg back if you need to. It's pretty loose going forward and back. Side to side is tight. All right, thigh swivel is in there. That's actually not so bad. I thought it wasn't going to have that much. Going in is not so much, though, at all. Double jointed knee is all right. And you can see how much longer his lower leg is than the upper leg. Don't want that. Double jointed knee is okay in range. You do get a boot swivel up here, which is nice. That'll go nicely with the ankle rocker, so we'll get to that in a second. Leaning the foot back does work nicely. Leaning the foot forward, not so much. Ankle rocker on this guy is a little bit steep, but because you have that boot swivel that's hidden, you get the ankle rocker to work pretty nicely, so that is pretty good. And then lastly, we have the toe hinge, which is one of their better toe hinges. It's nothing crazy, but it works. It looks okay, and it's well placed. All right, so his articulation, not that bad. We have a few weird spots here and there, but mostly it works pretty well. So I'll give him I think I'll go 9 out of 10 for his articulation. It's generally pretty good. You should be able to pose him up. All right, so time for the final verdict on this guy. I still think it looks a little bit weird. Once you pose him, it'll look a lot less weird. And if you put the jacket on him, that'll help a whole bunch. I'm not thrilled with the head sculpt, with that nose in particular, but I think you could probably get past it, and it's reasonable enough. So I think it came back around. I think the chest is weird looking. And like I said, the proportions. But with that jacket and posing, you're going to be okay. I'm going to give him an overall rating of... I'm going to say 8 out of 10. Having to make it look okay, despite its flaws, is not really where we want to be. and the legs are definitely disproportionate and weird. So yeah, I'll stick with 8 out of 10. That's probably being a little bit generous, but I think if you wanted a figure of this guy, you don't have too many options, and even though you have to work around the issues, you can make this probably what you want it to be, is my guess. I'm curious though what you guys think for something like this. A little bit more of an obscure character, something you don't have a lot of options for. Are you more willing to look past some problems, or are you less willing to just because you don't want figures with problems? Let me know what you think about that. But that's it for me. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.